The NBA, in my opinion, is the greatest sports league in the world, but that doesn't mean that it can't be improved. Welcome in or welcome back. I think that Adam Silver is doing as good of a job as he could possibly do with his given role, but I have some ideas to help him out. And Adam, if you're listening somehow, let's collab. I'm going to start off real generally here and work into more specific stuff later, but to start off, we have to increase the salary cap. The 2025-2026 NBA salary cap is set to be $154 million, and with true superstars like SGA getting ready to get paid $71 million a year, and true role players like Tobias Harris getting paid $25, there is not enough money to allow teams to build teams the right way. Because of the luxury tax, the first apron, and the second apron, there is no such thing as roster flexibility anymore. The team with the lowest salary cap last year was the Utah Jazz, and they were over that cap amount by $9 million. Now, I don't know what the number is exactly, but we can't keep continuing with these small increments year over year like we have been doing. Now, I'm fully aware that if we shot out the number to say $175 million, that the NBA GMs and owners could very easily pay their top stars more money or overpay for rotation pieces, but what we are doing is not working and we have to try something. With the increases in the salary cap, it would also change the ranges for that luxury tax first apron and second apron. And in doing that, that allows teams to be more flexible with their roster building. And more importantly, it doesn't pigeonhole teams that build the right way to end up trading off pieces before a dynasty run can happen. Because we've already seen the ramifications of that. It's happening to the Boston Celtics right now, and soon it'll happen to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Next thing on my agenda, we have to shorten the schedule. You know, there's not a scientific reason why we have to play 82 games in a year. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of really good science that says that the 82 game mark, along with the fact that there is so much travel involved, a ridiculous amount of back-to-backs, and the fact that this game is more explosive than ever, is causing all of these injuries. Yeah, like I said, some of that is in due part because this game is so explosive and the human body can't keep up, but reducing the amount of games has to be beneficial for all parties involved. And because there would be less games, by default, those games become more important to the casual fan. Because those games are more important, they are choosing to watch those games rather than anything else, and the streamers that we're now in partner with, like Netflix, like Peacock, like NBC, like Amazon, are all happy because they have those eyeballs now. For a quick parallel, think about the NFL. They only have 17 games. Each one of those games are crucially important. But if the NFL had, say, 50 games a year, let's not think about the CTE in that for a second, if they had 50 games a year, some of those games would not be important at all, and you would probably skip those games. One of my biggest points of contention is that we have to get rid of the back-to-back games. Now, I'm using round numbers here, but there is about 175 days in the NBA season. And with the 82 game schedule, we could very easily just have the games be played every other day and avoid this entire situation completely. But with my suggestion of 66 games, that would open up the opportunity for the players, who are the cash cow in this business, lest we forget, to play more games and recover from those games. And 66 games is the actual magic number for the NBA season. I'm going to relate this to something that I know. I am a Celtics fan. We play in the Atlantic Division. And you know, honestly, I'm not going to make any changes there. For your division games, you are going to play your divisional opponents 4 times a year. So right off the rip, we have a total of 16 games to play. For the teams inside your conference but outside of your division, we're going to have a home and away series for a total of 20 games. And for all 15 teams in the opposite conference, we are again going to have a home and away game for a total of 30 games. Quick maths, 16 plus 20 plus 30 is 66, and that's our magic number. All the road games should obviously be optimized as possible when the Celtics go West Coast and they are going to play the Lakers. They need to play the Clippers in the exact same week, if not the next 2 days, without leaving that town, by the way. The same thing with Texas. You need to be playing the Mavericks, the Spurs, and the Rockets all within the same 7 to 9 day period. Not only does it reduce the number of air miles that we put on these players, but it's also good for the environment as well. Next up, we have to make some tweaks to the NBA Cup. I said that there would be 66 regular season games, but I certainly have not forgotten about the NBA Cup. Now, I personally love the NBA Cup. I think that it is very important, especially for the league's history, but I think it could be more important than it is currently presented. My ideal scenario for this is having the NBA season start when it does, about the second or third week of October, and then using the Christmas Day games as a third of the way pausing point for the season. Because I think we can be honest with ourselves. Most of the NBA fans are casual fans, and they don't start watching the NBA until Christmas. We need to make these games feel more important. More on that later. But I think that we could by using this as a mid-season finale of sorts. After the Christmas Day games, we could have 1 or 2 more games before the end of the year, and then the fun starts. Starting January 1st of the new year, we enter NBA Cup group play. These games do not count toward your regular season record, and it is strictly for tournament seeding purposes. The stats and the records will obviously count for the players' overall career numbers, but we're going to have a dedicated team to keep these stats in a bubble as well for the all-tournament teams. The group play is going to be the exact same as it is now. There are going to be 6 groups, 5 teams apiece. You're going to have 4 games in your group to determine the seeding, and then those 6 groups will have 1 winner, and we will also be picking 2 wildcard spots for the tournament. The group play games should happen every 3 days or so. We can divvy that up on the TV schedule, so we should end around the 14th or the 15th of January. And then we can start tournament play on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. MLK Day has always been really important, not only to the history of the league, but the people who watch this league, and it's also kind of viewed as a second Christmas for us, so I couldn't imagine a better starting point for the tournament than MLK Day. All the tournament games will be played at a neutral site like the Sphere in Las Vegas, and based on the tournament play and the rest involved, the championship game should be around the 22nd of January. And the winners of the NBA Cup are in for a treat too. As it currently stands, the winners of that team, the winning team's players, get $500,000 in prize money. And that is obviously a ton of money, but with the NBA inking 11-figure media rights deals, we can up those numbers. We can put more money in the players' pockets and all of the coaches. Yes, all of the coaches. Players should get something like $2 million apiece, and the coaches should get $1 million. And then there will obviously be some purse for the runner-ups and the people who made it to the semis. And as for the winning organization itself, there's also some benefit. For winning the NBA Cup, you are now awarded the 15th pick in the upcoming year's draft. And it can be served for multiple purposes. You can obviously use that as essentially a lottery pick to build onto your already very good team, or you could use it in future trade talks. And if you are held up currently in the stipend rule, it does not apply. Next, we have to talk about arguably the most important thing within the NBA structure as a brand, as a global brand, and it's your social media presence. In my NBA, we will no longer be copyright striking channels for using our content. 99% of the content you see either falls into one of 2 categories. One, it's a commentary-based thing you want to add to the conversation, which falls under fair use, whether the NBA likes to admit it or not. Or you see highlight reels and edits on TikTok. Those should be part of the game. Those grow the game, and we should not penalize the people who are bringing that to the forefront. Those things, though they may seem small, grow the game in such a way that we can't see through the eyes of traditional cable. That is growing the game exponentially. And we will also no longer be charging people to use our tape library. All publicity is good publicity to some extent, and we will no longer be gatekeepers to the people who love this game. Arguably, the second most important thing that we need to address is League Pass. If we want to be the best league in the world, we have to stop treating our fans like shit. NBA League Pass, in theory, should be the easiest layup of all time. All 82 games for all 30 teams in one place. They have all the pieces to be great, we just have to fine-tune it a little bit. First and foremost, not to step on any toes of our new broadcast partners, NBA League Pass's price will be going up. A League Pass premium membership currently costs $24.99 a month, and in this new model, it will have to be $50 a month. I know that sounds like the worst thing that I've suggested so far, but there is a method to this madness. Because in its current form, yeah, it is only $24.99 a month, and you do get to watch all these games, as long as it's not a nationally televised game or you're not too close to a particular team. And that is a huge sticking point for me. I used to live in West Virginia. I used to live in central West Virginia. I was 2 hours away from the border of Ohio, and it would take me 4 hours to get to Cleveland. And yet, NBA League Pass told me I was too close to watch the Cleveland Cavalier game. Now, that didn't bother me too bad. I'm not a Cleveland Cavalier fan, but when the Celtics played the Cavs, couldn't watch it. In my model, the $50 a month model, you will have unfettered access to all of the games. Because I get it. I haven't had cable since 2014. I haven't had the need to. There have been other ways for me to watch these games. So if there is a nationally televised game, you don't have access to it. You need NBA League Pass to watch these games. The base $25 a month is to give you unfettered access to the NBA games. I'm not going to change that at all. The other $25 a month is to appease the partners that we have now. That extra $25 a month per prescription would be shared amongst ABC, TNT, Amazon, Netflix, Peacock, whoever is getting involved in this streaming platform. Because unfortunately, we do live in a capitalist society, and all of these streamers will have to be made whole. And I know me personally, I don't have all the streaming platforms. I share a Netflix password with my brother. I pay for Apple TV, a Disney bundle with Hulu and Disney Plus, and that's it. Everything else I have to steal passwords for. We need to give our fans the best experience possible, and while I would love to sit here and just give you all of that for the exact same price, if not cheaper, we cannot allow the other players in this position to be upset with us and eventually leave us. This isn't the best case scenario, but it's the best I can do. Next, let's talk expansion, and what the hell are we even waiting on? This is probably because of the new CBA, or at the very least, the next sale of a lucrative franchise like the Knicks or the Warriors, but expansion has to come pretty soon. We've waited long enough. We are expanding, and we're doing it right now. Seattle's the very easy choice here. They never should have lost their team in the first place, so we're going to give Seattle their Supersonics back. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens with free agency over the next couple of years with guys like DeJounte Murray and Zach LaVine and Paolo Banchero all being from the area. Most importantly, at least for me, they will be getting their history back. All the stats, all the records, all the jerseys will become Seattle property again, and the Oklahoma City Thunder history will begin in 2008. I know that a lot of people have just been clamoring for a Las Vegas expansion team, and I am just not with them. Vegas to me just seems like a tourist destination and not necessarily somewhere where you can have home fans. Now, people live there, obviously I'm not going to deny that, but they have had an opportunity to host the NBA Cup, and a lot of people spent their hard-earned money to be there, and the crowd was still awful. They spent all this money, traveled from God knows where, to be a part of this very unique thing, and it sucked watching it on TV. I'm not saying never. I'm not saying Las Vegas can't have an expansion team ever. I'm just saying not right now. The city that has earned it the most, in my opinion, is Mexico City. We already have built-in infrastructure in Mexico City thanks to the G League's Capitan. And you can ask anyone who frequents the G League live streams or is a local, they absolutely love having a G League team there. And because of that passionate love, it's about time we put an NBA franchise there too. The design I would be hoping for, I saw a couple years back, it's called the Mexico City Flight. I first saw the design from a guy named Finn Bluet on Behance.net. I'm going to put a link in the description to the article that I first saw it in. It absolutely rocks. Flynn gets everything right. The presentation, the colors, the history, absolutely everything is perfect on this. I could not have come up with a better design if I tried. With the two new expansion teams being out west, we are going to have to shift one Western Conference team over to the Eastern Conference, and after some thought is going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves will be joining the Central Division, and the Supersonics and the Flight will be joining the Northwest and the Southwest divisions, respectively. I have been toying with the idea of making 4 divisions in each conference with 4 different teams to kind of even everything out, but I'm going to keep it as it is right now for potential future expansion. And lastly, let's just get into some miscellaneous stuff. Now, full disclosure, I'm not sure why they haven't been doing this already. For whatever reason, since Nike took over the jersey production rights, they have had zero interest in making the Christmas Day jerseys, but they'll make 29 City Edition jerseys that no one is going to buy. Absolutely enough of that nonsense. We're bringing back the Christmas Day jerseys. Because those jerseys used to attach us to a moment in time. I could say to you, the Warriors and Cavs Christmas Day jerseys, and you are immediately transported to a particular jersey in a particular moment. That feeling and that moment never should have gone away. Outside of the NBA Finals, the Christmas Day games are our biggest day of the year, so we need to treat it like it's important. It's essentially our Super Bowl. It's the genesis of casual fans actually starting to watch the league. We have to make it special, even looking at it from a pure capitalist standpoint, which I hope I have proved to this point that I am not. Nike could be making oodles of money, and they're just choosing not to. And in my opinion, that is absolute nonsense. In my NBA, we are pro-fun, pro-athlete, and pro-common sense. And last but certainly not least, I can't believe I even have to say this, put the fucking Larry O'Brien trophy in the middle of the finals court. What are we doing? It can't possibly be that difficult to figure out. Now, I understand why they stopped doing it. It used to be a sticker, and the sticker would get wet, and then it would become a player safety issue. But if we're already making brand new courts every single year for the NBA Cup, why couldn't we do that for the NBA Finals? In my NBA, we will be commissioning woodworkers and designers to make Larry O'Brien championship trophy court designs if a team makes it to the finals. Now, obviously, it would be very, very silly to commission 30 people to make each one of those for the teams. So what we're going to do is start at the playoff. Because whether we like to admit it or not, there is a ton of time between the first game of the real playoffs, not the play-in, the playoffs, and the NBA final. And I think that is more than enough time to go out and create different teams' NBA championship finals court. And you don't even have to do the whole court. You just have to partition it. It's like 1/3 of the entire court design. And the best part from a business perspective, if the team doesn't make the NBA championship, it's a tax write-off. And if they do, we have a fantastic moment in history. And while we're at it with all this, we have to make the finals feel special again. And listen, I think you would be pretty hard-pressed to find someone who loves basketball more than me. This past finals felt like some random Sunday game in the middle of December, and that's bad. The NBA Finals is the pinnacle of our sport. It's the Super Bowl. It's the World Series. It's the World Cup. We need to act like it. We have an obligation to our most loyal and hardcore fans to make this as much of a spectacle as possible. At the end of the day, this league is making money hand over fist, so we don't have to remind the people that are watching at home every 15 seconds that the NBA Finals is brought to us by YouTube TV. What we need to do is treat the NBA Finals like it's the most important 2 weeks of our entire calendar, because it is. But how would you change the NBA if you were the commissioner? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, check my link tree. Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. I even have a Discord community that I would love for you to join. But that's going to do it for me today. Be kind, tell somebody you love them, and I'll see you in the next one.